It's 7:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. As part of his election promise, Premier Mike Baird will visit the village of Bulgar today to meet with residents and representatives of the thoroughbred and mining industries. The Premier is hoping to gain a personal insight into the land use conflict between mining companies and the community. John Cray from the Bulgar Milberdale Progress Association says the visit shows the government is taking an interest in the issue.
We feel that at long last we are getting the message through to the people that count in government, which is the Premier and, of course, the Minister for Planning, and Mike Baird's predecessors, and even Mike Baird in earlier days have ignored us completely. So we feel fairly happy that they're actually coming up to see what the problems are, and that's a great help to us, I think.
We're being warned to prepare for more wild weather in the Hunter. Another potential east coast low is forming off Queensland and is set to bring showers from tomorrow and possibly heavy rain later in the week, although the Weather Bureau says modelling shows it won't be as severe as last week. Meanwhile, Gilliston Heights is no longer an island. One lane of Cessnock Road has been reopened last night, allowing residents to leave after almost a week of being stranded. There's also access to Hinton now via Phoenix Park, and about 10,500 homes and businesses remain without power. Ausgrid will focus today on Salamander Bay and Saltash. Taxi fares in the Hunter could be frozen if a draft recommendation released earlier this month is passed. The Independent Pricing and Regulatory Tribunal will be in Newcastle today to seek feedback from taxi drivers, licence owners and operators, as well as passengers, local business and community members about taxi fares in the area. The forum will be held at the Newcastle Novotel from 10:30am until 1pm. Submissions can also be made via the IPART website. IPART Chairman Peter Boxall says they're hoping for feedback from stakeholders to take back to the state government.
Today is a public forum, and this will be input as we finalise our report. We also have submissions which can come in until the 15th of May, and so what we're hoping to get is feedback on our main recommendations from stakeholders, which we can take on board when we do our final report and make the recommendation to government.
A soldier who served in Iraq and Afghanistan says he was the victim of a violent Anzac Day attack at Cooks Hill. Corporal Scott Brown was left with a large cut across his right cheekbone after either being elbowed or glassed at the Hotel Delaney on Saturday night. He's told the Herald his attacker claimed to be a commando. Police are looking at CCTV footage in a bid to identify the culprit. Today's stop work for Hunter Catholic schools has been suspended following a meeting between the Independent Education Union and the Catholic Commission for Employment Relations. The union has achieved commitment to several requests with aims to improve the quality of educational services in Catholic schools throughout the region. Union Secretary John Tues says negotiations are ongoing.
There's still further discussions to be had. We don't actually have an enterprise agreement, but what we do have is the framework that will allow us to go and sit down now and actually draft such a document. It's not a straightforward exercise, but we'll work with Catholic employers in good faith to try and achieve that.
Now with sport, Emily Crow.
The Newcastle Jets will look to re-sign Serbian midfielder Enver Alividic for a 2-year deal with the club following his impressive performance on a short-term contract. Alividic has scored 2 goals in 9 games since joining the Jets in February and is expected to fill the second of 5 visa spots available for the next season. Up to 8 other players will also learn their fate today. South Newcastle have beat out Curry and Central Newcastle in the race to sign former NRL star Anthony Watts. The 28-year-old could make his debut as early as this Sunday when the Lions take on Maitland at Townsend Oval. A former Cronulla, Queensland and Sydney Roosters winger, Watts is hoping to use the Newcastle competition to get back into the NRL. And Merewether wheelchair racer Christy Dawes has finished 6th at the IPC Athletics Marathon World Championships in London. That's sport. I'm Emily Crow.
2NURFM News Time 26 to 8.